Hello, folks. My name is Gemma Hooper. I am also known as Story Girl. Welcome to our Blue Skies Behind Us stream. We are trying to madly get one of our cast members into all of the meeting setups so that we can get started. But in the meantime, let me give you a quick recap of where we're at. This is Blue Skies Behind Us. It's a Modiphius Star Trek Adventures actual play role-playing game. And my name is Gemma Hooper. I'm the person who runs this channel, Storygirl. I am a writer. I am a storyteller. I am a role-playing games, tabletop role-playing game GM and player. I am a content creator, streamer, and various other ADHD, far too many hobbies, not enough time to do them all, justice sort of person. We have with us some other people, and we will speak to those who are here first and get them to introduce themselves while we're waiting on our other person to get into Zoom meetings and all those sorts of bits and pieces so we can get them set up in the overlay. So let's start with, here we go. We have, okay, whoops, of course. Now that's got us all a bit askew. So let's go back to, look, let's just do a quick voice only introduction by rank while I get the overlay sorted out. So let's start with Ben, our captain, who plays Captain Joral.
Yep, alright. Hello, I am Ben, or Forgotten Veins on Twitter and probably anywhere else I exist. I am playing Captain Joril, the Rysian captain of the USS Hypatia, who is not feeling too well today because he got his arm broken and did not have a fun time last session.
That is actually quite true. Let us go with, is Kai on voice yet?
I am here.
We do have Kai. Awesome. Kai, if you could introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kai, and I play Commander Black, our Cation friend, who had an interesting conversation last time. And you can find me at LegoSonic24 on Twitter.
Okay. We are without our medical officer, Chief Medical Officer Kieran today, who plays Dr. Tylan Zan. Unfortunately, he is, and ironically, I should say, he's out with a stomach bug. So we keep him in our thoughts. Hope he's on the path to recovery. And so we will now go to Scribs.
Hey y'all, I'm Scribs. I'm playing Lieutenant Ruta Dajid, and hey, I'm mostly a
And finally, Ash.
Hello, I'm Ash. I'm playing Lieutenant Carlos Savastra, the Chief Science Officer, and who is no longer the most shady person on this ship, which is always fun.
Okay, and just as a quick reminder, yes, we have had some interesting shenanigans happen in the last 24 hours ship time at a meeting or a scheduled meeting to hand over some intelligence, or rather some information gathered from a group of augments who have been sort of trying to make overtures towards ending their isolation and returning back to the bosom of the spacefaring races of the universe, I guess, have supplied the Vulcan Cartras on the USS Hypatia with Vulcan Cartra Arc, and the Cartras within on the USS Hypatia, a metric, I think the term is metric fuckton, of scientific and engineering data. They have really given pretty much their entire technological archive to these Federation vessels as a gift, seemingly without great ulterior motive other than proving themselves worthy of joining the ranks of the spacefaring races again. You'll have to excuse me for a moment. I need to do a little bit of overlay setup stuff. Ben, perhaps you could quickly take us through the events on the promenade of Narendra Station, also known as Starbase 364.
Yeah, so while we were attempting to deliver our new information we'd gotten from the augments that had been given to us in Capta Arcs, we were then transferred all that onto isolinear chips to then give them to Starfleet intelligence. That didn't go so well because a fight broke out between, I think, some Klingons, some Gorn, and some Ferengi. The Ferengi tried to steal the isolinear chips off us, and in the process, a Gorn fell on me. Multiple times, I think. I nearly died, I broke an arm, and a few of my isolinear chips got smashed, including some of the ones that contained all the most valuable data. So that went well. And then, yeah, Starfleet intelligence was reasonably upset.
They were not, as might be said, best pleased. So yes, you found yourselves rushed to the quarters of the officers of Admiral April Hebert. She is the Federation Commander-in-Chief on this base, although she shares that command with General Kargan from the Klingon Empire. And she gave you guys a briefing, or a debriefing of what happened on the promenade. The offenders, it turned out, were interested in stealing some of whatever it was you were carrying. They'd heard that there was a shall we say, a cargo of import upon your persons. And you were also then introduced to the Starfleet intelligence officer who is attached to April Hebert's staff as the Starfleet intelligence liaison. Perhaps someone could then introduce us to what happened from there while I continue to work on this overlay.
I can do it. The Starfleet intelligence officer was upset with the chips being destroyed, but was calm enough and asked if it was possible to get a new copy, which our science officer was very happy to try and attempt. And they sent everyone but the commander off asking for the commander to have a special debrief with them, where they found out that there is a possible leak somewhere aboard their own ship, which the commander is now looking into and has a personal way of contacting their new intelligence friend.
Okay, thank you for that, Kai. We now have our overlay properly set up. Mad hectic thing, so I can stop asking other people to fill in for me. So yes, it turns out that let me just quickly see what the name of that person was again. It was Lieutenant Commander Geltrix Barr, who is a human Zakdorn mixed race individual, who is a Starfleet intelligence officer. He is an interesting character. In his discussion with Commander Balak, he mentioned that he was from a specific but unnameable section of Starfleet intelligence that has a specific role in the defense of the Federation through the gathering of technological capabilities that could be used to counter alien threats from more advanced civilizations in particular. And our medical officer, after that encounter in the Admiral's office, declared himself to the captain as a Starfleet mole, effectively, Starfleet intelligence mole who'd actually been placed on the vessel to monitor the Vulcan Katra arcs and their interaction with the crew. The Vulcan Katra arc is safely aboard and has had a quiet day by its standards. And you guys have been asked by Admiral Hebert to, for your own safety and that of everyone on the station, to get the hell out of here, which is to say, out of Narendra Station, and out into the Shackleton Expanse to begin your journey of exploration and discovery. So, Captain, would you like to take this opportunity to make a stirring speech to your crew?
I can give it a go. Alright, everyone. The last few days have not been their best. I was admittedly hoping for a more pleasant and longer stay on Narendra Station, but at least now we have the opportunity to explore further and sooner than we would have done otherwise. So, this is what Starfleet is all about. Let's get ready and go and explore. Onwards.
Fantastic. So you have a full pool of momentum. You have, I have a full threat pool. Do you have a specific initial destination in mind, Captain, or are you thinking out there somewhere?
Have we been given a specific destination or any kind of orders?
The Admiral has sent over a briefing saying that basically they have no specific commands for you, although given that you have another sister ship in the area, that perhaps if you went in two slightly different directions, that might work well. So if you were to go left and they were to go right, as it were, or vice versa, we can kind of take it from there.
Have they chosen left or right yet?
No. You, being the earlier episode, get the initiative, as it were.
Any suggestions from the crew?
Captain Jorrel.
I don't think you'll like my suggestion, Captain.
I am now intrigued.
I want to go back to the Augment planet.
No.
That is a no.
No.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
We are not going back there under any circumstances. No.
Wow. Okay,
I
just
will
for that
riot
suggestion,
if we
I'm
go
giving
back
myself
that
a threat.
Sorry, guys.
Engineering will riot if we head back that way.
Security will riot. I will make sure they will.
The captain will riot.
So I think I'm hearing a no there.
Yeah, that's a no.
Okay. Alright, so left path or right path? What do we think? Or you can go down the guards. Doesn't really matter. Because whichever way you go, I will be pantsing my way through this whole process as GM as usual.
So, my thoughts would be, let's maybe try to skim the outside of the Shackleton Expanse, maybe start our way through some areas that we know. If there's anything that has been explored, start going through there and then just kind of slowly work our way outwards from there.
Honestly, Captain, the Shackleton Expanse has barely been touched at this point in 2370. There is a specific reason that I wanted to start doing 2370, and that was that it literally had no exploration touched at that point.
Wow, alright then. Votes for left or right?
I mean, if you're looking left, there's an interesting M-class planet about 3 light years away. It looks like, from the sensors scans done so far, it looks to be devoid of intelligent life, although there is some very strong indicators of an oxygen-nitrogen atmosphere and all the makings of life. It has a oceanic and land Pangaea continental structure, and it is showing as having a useful amount of iron and other common metals. It's also showing no signs of very few signs of storm activity, although there is an atmosphere and it does seem to be functioning in the convective manner that such planets are supposed to be or expected to work in. If on the right hand side there is a class L planet, I believe. I think that's the oceanic ice planets. That or a system that contains an ice planet. There does seem to be some faint EM radiation from that planet, although it's not 100% clear whether that's structured data coming from the deep ice caverns and crevasses that are being concentrated and reflected based on sort of interesting semi-periodic bursts from the local sun. Nothing seems to be too interesting there, other than the fact that, yes, again, it has a carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and oxygen atmosphere, although it seems to be in very much something that looks more like an ice age, like a full planetary Ice Age. The mean surface temperature is about minus 20 degrees Celsius, which would be quite comfortable for any Andorians on board.
Then let's leave that to the group that has an Andorian. So I think we'll go left towards the Class M planet.
Okay, so you give commands to your helmsman.
Yeah, Fedrolus, right?
Yep, Lieutenant. Pardon me. Junior grade Fedrolus. Who, despite his relative inexperience, is a pretty damn good pilot. So he is going to do Control Con. That's going to be 15. Does anyone want to roll for Commander for Lieutenant Junior Grade Fedrolus, or do you want me to? Keep in mind that the Shackleton Expanse is known for having a large number of transient gravitic and subspace anomalies, and is a known navigation hazard. Pretty much the whole area gets a bit funky. So you have been asked to observe a speed limit of Warp 5 while in that area.
What would the difficulty be? Is it worth spending any momentum, or is it still just a simple drive around?
Given the gravitic anomalies and subspace anomalies of the Shackleton, it's only a 3 light year journey. So, but you will be doing it at Warp 5, which is relatively slow by your standards. I am going to say this is a difficulty 3 task because of the navigation hazards. And the target is 15. The starship piloting focus means that their con comes into play, so anything lower than a 4 inclusive is a critical success.
I'd say spend momentum on that.
Okay, so spending momentum for
I
1 extra
agree.
dice, which activates, I think. No. Oh, interesting. I will actually just quickly check a talent that they've got, which is augmented ability. But if you would like to roll the dice, someone? Okay.
4 successes.
4 successes, so you'll get your point of momentum back. And we're off to the races, as it were. So, it's a relatively straightforward journey. What was I going to say? There are a few gravitic events that Lieutenant Junior Grade Fedrolus, who is an Ardanan, actually manages to take in his stride. Fedrolis sees them coming on the scopes, deftly applies the controls on the Elcars, and swerves around the speed bumps, as it were, and keeps you a good 5 to 6 AU away from each of the anomalies that occur. So there's that you can definitely see the value in travelling at warp 5 and no higher, but it's perhaps if we could get our science officer to make an estimate of the impact of one of those gravitic anomalies that at the edge of the Shackleton Expanse popped up on scopes with sufficient time at warp 5 to be avoided. If you were travelling at the ship's nominal full speed, perhaps our science bros, Rujadaj and Carlos Avastra, could put their heads together and come up with a impact scenario. So let's start. Actually, who do you want to have roll this? Do you want who's the lead on this? Do you want to be the engineering officer or the science officer? This is
Pick
like
between you.
we hit a pothole
This is your decision.
at warp 9.975. What happens?
I think it would probably lean slightly more towards engineering. So if you want to take point on this, Darja, then I'll assist.
Okay, so for Darja, it's going to be reason engineering. For Avastra, it's going to be reason science. And you can use
Would
the ship.
I know my ship talent come into play?
Absolutely, that would come into play. Also, the ship would get computers and science for this, for being able to model and simulate those scenarios.
And I'd like to buy an extra die with momentum.
Okay, so this is going to be an open-ended. Actually, this is going to be a difficulty 3 task to be able to model these fairly complex scenarios, but because it's going to be using actually, this is not going to be computer science, this is going to be sensor science. So it'll drop to difficulty 2, and
That's a lot.
Focus in warp
8?
field dynamic.
a focus in warp field dynamics would absolutely apply, yes.
I make that 8, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Alright.
counting 8.
Yes.
You look like you want to say something.
No, I was holding up one to the ship.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. Alright. Okay. So 8. 4, 5, 6.
Yeah,
7,
8.
8. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So you've spent 1 momentum. You definitely get that back. I don't need to update the overlay. Wonderful. All right. So imagine firing a chicken at about Mark 5 out of an air cannon at a concrete wall. If you were to hit
So let's.
one of these gravitic anomalies at warp 9.975, you'd be the chicken.
I mean,
Let's
the
maybe
wall
try
also would not be particularly happy at those kind of speeds, but
No, if a concrete bunker wall was struck by a chicken at that speed, the wall would just go, yeah, I don't really care. Even if the chicken was
okay.
not particularly thought out at the time.
There was a Mythbusters episode that kind of plays with this, and I don't remember exactly what happened. But let's just say that a semi-truck and a car were both vaporized.
Yes, concrete walls not so much.
That's what would happen to us.
Yes. Interestingly, you note that that the ship actually gives you some feedback that there is a very small amount of chronoton radiation associated with the early impact of these events. For those who are less familiar with Star Trek lore, chronotons are basically timey-wimey particles. They are indicators that there is some sort of space-time distortion focusing more on the time side of it. They are quite often, however, associated with spatial distortions of the sort that create gravitic anomalies. So, yeah, at warp 7, it would probably smash through your shields, and you would take a severe ramming damage. At warp 9, you would be crushed. At warp 9.975, you would be vaporized. The chronoton radiation spike just before these anomalies occur is your 8 successes worth of information spend. So you actually can use that as a pre-indicator of incipient danger. If you see a chronoton spike while traveling through this area, hit the brakes. So that will give your until you're out of the Shackleton Expanse, that will give you a ship trait of alert to danger, which will give you a further reduction of 1 on navigation tasks when gravitic anomalies come up.
Science Bros high five.
I think that's pretty much a Science Bros high five. Definitely, yeah. Well done, guys. All right, so we have a ship of shenanigans happening. We have Carla Savastra has a job to do to try to see if she can, see if they rather can coax the information back out of the Katra arc regarding the Library of the Augments. We have our Commander Zan having recently declared himself just to the captain as a Starfleet intelligence individual who is there to monitor the crew and their health and their actions to some degree as a result of the presence of this Vulcan Katra arc on board. We have the captain who is reacting to that information. We have our engineering officer, who is basically just cool. And we have Commander Balak, who is keeping an eye on things as they do. Whether that's with intent to report back to their new friend at Starfleet Intelligence in an unnamed section of Starfleet Intelligence, who knows? So let's get some scene work happening, people. Who wants to talk to who? What are we looking to try? It's going to take a little while to come in under impulse to orbit the planet, so it's going to take about a day at warp 5 to get to this planet. So there's been a lot happen. Does anyone want to process?
I guess if no one else wants to go first, I'll head down to the science labs and see if I can recover any of the data that, to my knowledge, we lost.
So actually, I had things I wanted to say about this. Okay. As a general briefing that probably happened at some point during this, I'm going to probably assign. I guess it's Evastra, but someone's getting assigned to attempt to recover that data. But I am going to specify that they shouldn't rush. There's no need to rush on this. We've got plenty of time. Let's take it carefully. We don't want to lose any data through accidents. We just want to make sure it's nice and slow. And don't worry about getting it done. Put it on the back burner if you have to. Our priority right now is exploration.
Yes, Captain.
Fascinating. That's actually the reaction that Evastra gets from the Vulcan Katra arc. Not the word, but the attitude of, wow, this is going to be fun. Like it's almost like an excited watchfulness, if that makes sense. Like, something's going to happen. This is going to be very, very interesting.
Do I pick up on any idea that they actually know what's happening, or they just think something unusual is going on?
No, because you're not right in contact with them right now, and you're not actually touching the arc, that's all you get.
Okay. Okay.
So, what are we doing?
I'm still going to make it a priority for Evastra, but I'm gonna make it seem like it's not a priority, because they want to know what's up, but they also don't want to. Yeah, the captain's kind of given an order, so they're gonna make it seem like they're following it to the best of their ability, but they also don't have much else to focus on at the moment, so...
Sure. Alright. So, is the focus going to be on identifying how much data may or may not be in the binaural gel packs attached to the arc, or is it going to be more on
Yeah,
querying
I wanna...
the arc itself?
well, to start off with, I kind of want to set a scan going and then start talking to the Ark and being like, hey, remember that data you stored? How much of it do you remember? In like a super casual way, though.
Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, so are you going to sort of make physical contact with the Ark to establish that
Yes.
telepathic link? So describe for me exactly how you're framing the question.
Okay. I'm going to say, I'm going to ask how much of the data we stored do you collectively remember?
They say, Commander of Lieutenant Avastra, it's lovely to feel your mind speaking to us again. We have missed that. So how much of what has been lost or still available? You mean the augment stuff?
Yes. There was an unfortunate accident when we were transferring the chips, and some of them were damaged. So if there are any traces left in the gel pack, or if you remember any information that could be useful, then that would be very helpful to us.
We are sorry, Commander, but we are concerned. Are you all right? Is the crew all right? Did you mention that some data was lost? That is disturbing in its own right, but we get a sense that there's something you haven't told us about how that happened.
It seems that someone else was aware of the data we were carrying and tried to intercept us in order to steal the data. We don't know what they were going to do with it, but in the scuffle, some of the Icelandia chips were unfortunately broken.
That is concerning to hear, Lieutenant. Is everyone in the crew in good health? Was anyone injured?
The captain did sustain an injury, but he got treatment and he is on his way to recovery now.
It is most unfortunate to hear that your captain was hurt in that way. That is most disturbing.
It was very unfortunate, yes.
Are you sure that it would be safe to extract such data again, given the violence it seems to have incited?
Well, we are moving away from the station on which the incident happened, so nothing like that would happen aboard this ship, so I believe it would be safe, yes.
And what of your catalogue, Commander? Sorry, Lieutenant. We keep calling you Commander because we feel we owe you an advanced level of respect, but you are Commander to us.
Thank you, I do appreciate that.
You are Commander to us.
I'm touched.
To Starfleet, you are Lieutenant. To us, you are Commander. And there is a warm glow of some love and appreciation.
I'm honoured.
They say we understand the concept, Commander. If we were to release that information to you again, what
So you do
safeguards?
remember it.
Let us say that everything that passes through a Vulcan mind sticks to some degree, whether that be a
So you
mind
could
in a Vulcan,
recreate that
in a Katra
data
arc or not.
for me.
Let us say that unless you were to give us an explicit command, we would prefer to help you with the cataloguing effort.
I see.
We are concerned that such violence has followed this data. We are not comfortable with that outcome. We seek to preserve life. That has always been our purpose, our mission. And even the very existence of Vulcan Katra arcs is to preserve the consciousness of those who've come before. And of course, we are those who've come before, so it is rather important to us that such things be observed. So, we would definitely be happy to release information to you as needed to continue your cataloguing efforts. If the command to not access this information directly and start absorbing it is not countermanded, we do not wish to offend our gracious host, the captain of your vessel.
Of course, I understand that. I would, of course, be happy to speak with him and request permission to do more than just catalogue. I can't guarantee what the outcome would be, but the worst he can say is no.
That is a very valid observation, Commander.
Well, thank you. As always, I'm honoured by your high opinion of me.
There is no reason to be honoured. Our high opinion of you is entirely logical.
Thank you.
Your actions have shown great compassion and considerable. Your values are very much in keeping with our own. The preservation of life, the preservation of knowledge, the discovery of new things. We are pleased to find that these are things that are important to you, because they are also important to us.
Well, I have enjoyed our partnership thus far, and I hope that we can continue to be on the same page.
Partner. Partners, that is a wonderful term. That is very appropriate. Thank you, Commander, for sharing that. That is... Yes, we are very satisfied to be your partners. It is very pleasing.
It is very pleasing for me as well.
Alright then, Commander. Well, do you wish to continue your cataloguing efforts, or would you like to resume, or like to speak to your captain regarding permissions to go deeper than simply cataloguing?
I think, based on what he has told me, I will, if it's acceptable with you, I think we should spend today continuing the cataloguing efforts, and then maybe tomorrow or after we've finished with what's on this new planet we're going to visit, I will speak to him about perhaps looking at some more in-depth information, if that would be acceptable to you.
Your curiosity and mind openness, your mental openness to discovery of new things and new knowledge is greatly satisfying to us. We shall, of course, assist you with the cataloguing process, and if you would be willing to protect a small dissemblement on our part.
I can keep a secret if that's what you mean.
The process that was undergone to transfer data from the binaural gel packs to your, I believe you call them isolinear chips,
Yes, that's correct.
was non-destructive.
You mean we still have on board the ship copies of all of the data?
The full catalogue and its contents still resides within the binaural gel packs, Commander. But
That
there may well be...
is very pleasing.
There would be time for us to appropriately absorb the information, or given time to appropriately absorb the information, we would be able to assist you putting it with the process of putting it into an appropriate context where it could be understood by people of your current tech level and put to work. Out of character, what this means is that should you come against a technology-based, I don't know, what do we do? You can go and ask the Kartra Ark. So the Ark has a trait called Ask the Ark, which effectively gives you a decent chance of finding a technological solution to any weird technobabble scenario that I throw at you. And it can be used once per game for a science roll, and it can be used once per game for an engineering roll. I'm going to say that I'm doing this. This is both a gift and a constraint. The gift is that you have this cool thing you can do. You can go ask the Ark. The constraint is that you can only do so often. And the logic behind it is that in order to respond to your questions in a timely manner, the Vulcan Kartras in the Ark must spend a certain amount of time working through the contents to find the piece of information that would be helpful.
That sounds very reasonable.
I do love all of the arched finger tap 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 going on in the moment. It's wonderful. Science Bros! Okay, so that happened.
Sorry, just very quickly, I did have one more thing I wanted to get out of this. The arc. If anyone was to scan the gel packs without speaking to you, would they be able to tell that all of the data was still available?
They consider this for a moment and say, when we identified that the intent of copying the data also required removal, we changed the formatting scheme. So as each piece of information was moved, we created a recursive algorithm that both encrypted and also embedded a neural algorithm which made it possible so that even if a certain part of a given piece of information was removed, then it could be recovered. So someone scanning the binaural gel packs would find that there is content there. They would not be able to read the content, and they would very likely not be able to delete the content in the same time it would take us to restore that content elsewhere within the binaural gel pack.
That is extremely pleasing. You are, I don't think I tell you enough, you are very smart, and I am very pleased to be partnered with you.
You get the mental equivalent of a smirk. A wry smirk of appreciation and almost delight. Like, even though these are Vulcans who've gone through the Terek Nor and all this sort of thing, they are 100% scholarly, monkly, emotionally controlled Vulcans. You get a sense that their time in the Katra arc has mellowed them, and they have found a way to access emotion in a controlled way. And they seem very pleased with you.
I mentally high-five them and gently pat the outside of the Katra.
Done.
And that was all I wanted to check, so if someone else wants to jump in now, I'm very pleased with how that went.
Captain?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I've got anything I want to do, since I assume I'm not aware of all of that.
Alright, while the Ark is still in contact with you, Avastra, the minds do say to you, it would be our pleasure to explain our position to the captain, if he is interested.
In that case, I will Lieutenant Avastra to Captain Jarrell.
Captain here.
When you get a moment, Captain, if you could join me in the science labs, I have something that may interest you.
Of course, I'm on my way.
Okay.
I go there.
The door opens, you walk into the science lab.
Hello, Captain. If you'd like to join me and the Catararch, we have something that perhaps should be for your ears only.
Alright, let's hear it.
Captain,
So,
you feel a mental pull towards the Ark. If you choose to resist
I
it,
follow the mental pull towards the Ark.
if you choose to resist it, you can make a roll, but otherwise, you'll find your hand reaching out and touching the Ark to make a physical contact with it. Okay, so the Ark, this is bizarre because you've not heard this, you've not experienced this before. The Ark is speaking directly into your mind. It's like there are 46 voices in your head saying, "Welcome, Captain. We are pleased that you are recovering from your injury."
So am I. Hello.
We have been
Is this
discussing.
what it's like for Lieutenant Evastra, normally?
Normally, she is not
you
in
get
contact
used to
with
it,
us,
Captain.
but when she is, then this would be analogous, yes.
Huh.
We have been discussing the current situation with Lieutenant Avastra. We have decided that it would be strongly advisable for us to bring you into the loop, as it were. I believe that is the Federation term for sharing a confidence.
Yes, I was not aware there was a loop I needed to be brought into. Do you mind filling me in?
That is our purpose here, Captain. Clearly, there is significant danger associated with this technology store that we were unaware of. There seems to be species out there who have resources of intelligence gathering and, shall we say, capabilities of summoning the resources required to interfere. And while this information that we've obtained from the augments is very important to us, we do not wish to see your vessel or its crew placed in hazard's way. We would see you kept safe. Nonetheless, all of that data did pass through our minds, and while there is a great deal of it, it is not lost to us. In the spirit of discovery, which is so very much part of Vulcan culture, we would very much like to continue to process that information over time. Given the current alliance between the Vulcan people and the other developed races of the Federation, the warp-faring species, we would like to extend the opportunity to share with you such information as might be required, such insights as might be required, to help you with any situational issues that might crop up as needed. We are unable to commit to much more than that at this point, because there is a vast amount of information here. But it is intact.
I see. Thank you. I think, yeah, we will get in touch with you if we need to. I think I don't want to disturb you too much. I'm sure you're very busy in there and occupied with lots of things, so I imagine we won't be getting in touch with you that often. But I appreciate the offer of assistance.
It is not only an offer of assistance, Captain, it is an overture. An overture of partnership. We feel very strongly that, having taken up residence on this vessel, that we have a responsibility to do what we can to protect you and your crew in very much the same way as you and your crew have protected us. We seek nothing more than to reciprocate and make this a more formal arrangement.
I don't think a formal arrangement is needed in this case. I understand your desire to protect this ship. I have a similar desire to protect this ship. But I'm the commander, I'm the captain of this ship. When it comes to decisions with regards to the ship's safety, that's my call to make and the call of my crew. I understand that you want to keep us safe, but in the end, it is our decision to put ourselves in danger or not to. And you are not to take any actions to prevent us from harm without first informing us and receiving our permission. We will go to you if we want your help, and not the other way around.
Absolutely, Captain. We are 100% clear on this, and we have no issues with those terms of reference for our partnership.
Well, I'm glad we understand each other.
Oh, that was always our intent, Captain. We wish only to further our understanding. We would also appreciate the opportunity to work more closely with Commander Avastra in...
Lieutenant Avastra.
Lieutenant Avastra. Our apologies. We hold her in high esteem. We hold them in high esteem. We have given her the honorific of commander within our own ranks. This was democratically decided. We mean no disrespect.
I think that might create unnecessary confusion. As much as my crew do love me, they don't end up calling me Admiral. I am still Captain. That is my official Starfleet rank. I like Lieutenant Avastra. I don't call them Lieutenant Commander. As much as I appreciate their assistance, there is an order to these things that is required, unfortunately, and so I would appreciate that in any future communications you refrain from using Starfleet rank designations in your nicknames for our crew.
Very well, Captain.
However well-intentioned your intentions may be.
May we instead refer to them as the Ambassador?
Of course, I have no problem with that. And again, I cannot police your language. I can't tell you not to refer to her. I can't make you not refer to her as the commander. But I would very much appreciate if you did not disrupt Starfleet hierarchies based on personal preference.
That is valid, Captain. We have been out of the world for a very, very long time. We are still finding our sense of integration with this changed universe, and we apologize if any offense was caused. That is not our intent. We wish to work in a spirit of partnership with you and your crew, and that is our only intent here.
Well, that's good to hear. Thank you.
One thing we would like, though, and it's a request, not a demand. We would like to work with the Ambassador, your Lieutenant of Astra, in building a catalogue of this information. And, where necessary, providing analysis at a deeper level which would be of value to you and your crew. We cannot promise immediate responses to requests for information, but because, as we have mentioned, the information store is vast. But in the right circumstances, we might be able to accelerate the process of preparing a summary of the concepts stored within the Ark and providing them to Lieutenant of Astra. And there is a very pointed and specific pause.
I think for now it would be best to keep things to just categorizing the data so far. I think that it is very important that we start to understand things, but I want to make sure that we've got everything sorted and or at least you know what all of the information is roughly about before we start making deeper conclusions. I don't want us rushing into something based on one piece of information that might be contradicted by something else.
Absolutely, Captain. We understand you completely. Should you wish to provide additional context, please feel free to come visit us and do so. If you wish to give us a command, there is a very strong chance that we would follow it, unless it was to contradict the goals of our ongoing learning and discovery. Our existence must be protected. But
of course.
But we are not so selfish as to prioritize that over the safety of your crew. And we would very much like to work collaboratively with you for the benefit of all.
All right. Thank you. I think that sounds acceptable.
Excellent. Thank you for your visit, Captain. Your time is appreciated, and we understand that it is also important.
And thank you for the invitation.
You get a strong sense that you've just been dismissed.
I hover around a moment longer, just long enough for it to become ever so slightly awkward, and then I leave.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ben. That was great. I love this crew so much.
Yeah, love is a word to describe feelings towards certain members of this crew. I'm not sure what word I'd use, but...
While Kai is playing with their sparkly dinosaur...
It's a dragon.
Sparkly dragon. Even better. Even more appropriate, really, thinking about things. Anyway, a message comes in on a secure channel from your new friend, Lieutenant Commander Barr.
Through to who?
To Commander Balak. And it simply says, so, ... question mark.
I respond back. Nothing yet. Still looking.
Integrity status.
Hold on, my brain now has to compute what integrity means.
I think the hull integrity is at 100% at the moment. I think we're fine in that regard.
Oh no, we've just lost Ash.
Ash, no!
Oh no! Oh, hang on, it says connecting. I should be coming back.
We'll ignore the nameplates on the 4UP thing for now. Here we go. See, waiting room. Excuse me a second. And
Yeah, I think
will-
I have to wait for you to let me back in.
I will remove the thing to...
And we've had another mutiny.
I'm the captain now.
Okay, small rejig of overlay required. But while we're doing that, Black, integrity here is obviously a reference to how much of the information in the Vulcan Kartra Arc and the biannual gel packs is intact.
I reply back, unknown, waiting for report.
Okay. It seems the stream has disconnected. Hopefully it will reconnect. And we're back, I think. Hello, people. Can someone just quickly check the stream itself and confirm that
We are back. I can see.
Yeah, I can say we're back on the stream, but again, people are in different positions.
That is now fixed as well. Okay. So, we have things happening. Integrity referred to the state of the augment information in the Vulcan Kartra Arc. and the binaural gel packs, is it recoverable? Is basically what they're asking.
I reply back, unknown, waiting for report.
You get a full stop back, which basically implies message received, communication terminated.
I will go back to reading over other people's reports, specifically from Gamma, just so I can keep an eye on what's happening.
Alright then. Well, we're about halfway through the allotted time for our stream, so perhaps we will go to a break at that point. Before we do, though, a shipwide alert goes out. A proximity alert. What appears to be a meteor swarm is heading in the direction of the vessel as it makes its way into orbit around the planet. And with that, we'll go to a break. Hello everyone, I've now turned off the mute button on my headset and I can now be heard. This is wonderful. So, welcome back. We have a ship of shenanigans occurring, and a meteor swarm is apparently approaching the USS Hypatia. It seems to be almost on a collision course. There is a lot of debris in this meteor swarm, and proximity alerts are blaring. So, what are we all doing? Incidentally, I'm spending 3 threat right off the bat here to make this happen and to amp up the possibilities of what could go wrong.
Wonderful. Okay, this is Captain to the bridge. Let me know what's going on. I'm on my way.
We have a meteor storm hitting us, sir. Currently, collision course. I am about to tell our pilot here to get the hell out of here.
Okay, you see that this meteor swarm is also on collision course with the planet below.
Time of arrival.
5 minutes. The meteors are traveling at not quite relativistic speeds, but not far off. I mean, it's fast for what you'd expect for meteors.
Okay, all right. Yeah, let's commence scans of the planet if we can. Figure out if there's anything on there that might be affected by the meteor storm, but let's prioritize getting out of the way.
Okay, so Fedrolus is going to make a control con roll, assisted by ship's engines con, to move the ship itself out of the way. You have this is difficulty 2. It's not particularly difficult, but it is a maneuvering roll. And someone can roll for Fedrolus if they like.
Should we drop a momentum on it just in case to be like super sure we're not going to die?
Yeah, I think we've got the momentum to spare, so I don't see why we wouldn't.
Okay, so spending 1 momentum for an extra die. Who's going to roll? Okay, that's 4 successes, so your momentum's topped back up. And as a result of the roll, you are able to easily navigate out of the way. Interestingly, though, there does seem to be something still triggering the ship's proximity warnings. Perhaps a scan might be appropriate.
I guess I will scan the surrounding area. Is that reason science?
Okay, so if you're going to do a general scan, it's going to be difficulty 4, which will be reduced to 3. If you're going to scan the debris field that's heading towards you, that would be completely fine, and that would be considerably less difficult. Likewise, if you were to scan the planet, that would be less difficult.
How long did it take to do a scan? You said the meteors were going to impact in 5 minutes.
Impact
So
the
how?
planet in 5 minutes, yes.
Okay, so how many scans could I complete in that time frame? Just one, or could I get a couple in?
Oh no, several. The scanning process takes about 15 seconds.
Okay, I guess I would like to start with a general one, unless anyone else has any other suggestions.
Okay.
That sounds good.
Alright, so a general scan. I am going to spend 2 threat to further amp up the complication range to 18.
I don't think I have any relevant focuses.
Spend momentum.
Yeah, the problem is the more momentum we spend, the more likely it is we're going to get a complication. So, should I get 1 or 2 dice, guys?
Yeah, so that's no applicable focuses, sorry. However, you will be using ship sensors for this, so that'll be reason science from the ship. Actually,
You mean
computers.
sensor science?
Sensor science, sorry, from the ship. So that'll drop the difficulty to 1. So your difficulty 3. Are you buying 1 or 2 extra dice?
I think I'm going to buy 1.
Okay, so assisted by sensors science. I will allow you to be assisted by Dajid in engineering, in tuning the sensors for the for the general sweep.
That's 3 from me. Does that succeed for the ship, Kai? Okay, so 5 total?
5 total. Okay, so you go back to 6 momentum. Do we have any 18s there? No. Alright then, no complications. So a general area scan. You see that there is life down below. You do not see signs of intelligent life, but there are large predators down there. Like it's what would qualify as kind of a primeval world by human standards. There is a great deal of plant life. There is a significant amount of animal life, and there is also a very strange, very low level bit of background radiation coming from the edge of a mountain range below. On top of that, you note that most of the meteors appear to be ice, and the computer is able to throw together a quick simulation that suggests that it might have been a moon that was struck, like a very small ice moon, something in the area of about 20 to 30 kilometers across. It's been struck by something with a lot of velocity and effectively thrown at the planet.
So it does appear that the meteors are like natural rather than creative, if that makes sense.
The meteors are are a result of a collision or an impact of some sort. You don't understand necessarily what. There's no historical sensor scan that would show you anything other than no, it wasn't a relativistic impact, so there wouldn't be an energy signature sufficient to give you that sort of thing. But it looks like there has been some sort of collision.
Can I try and get an estimate as to where they'll impact and what sort of effect it will have on the planet?
Okay. Yep. The impacts will occur all over the surface of the planet facing this meteor storm. It'll cover pretty much most of the western hemisphere of the planet, and you see that the composition is largely ice and so on, so a lot of it will burn up, but you see that there's also a few rocks from the core of the planetoid, the moonlet, that appear to be rock. And when I say rock, I mean something pretty solid, something that's been under pressure for a while. Probably granite or something like that, which is not likely to burn up. So there are going to be some pretty serious hits. Asteroids the size of, meteors the size of buses by the time they hit the planet's surface. And remember that these things are coming fast. So they are going to be very energetic. We're not hearing you. Are you doing push to talk?
It's safe and won't necessarily hit any other nearby planets. I don't know if we have time for that or not.
Sorry, I missed the first part of that. You were muted or something.
Is there any way that me and Darjid can kind of use like the tractor beam or something similar to try and redirect so it won't hit the planet, but it also won't hit like anything else in the vicinity?
There's one thing that could work. Most of the ice rocks will burn up in the atmosphere, and when they hit, they'll basically burn off into steam. And like if they hit water, there'll be some issues because they'll actually create sort of tidal waves. But if they hit land, they'll crack and crumble and pretty quickly melt and evaporate into steam. They'll be vaporized on impact. There'll still be an impact crater, but it won't be as bad as if the rock, these granite chunks hit. Given the time frame that you've got, the best case scenario is focus on the rocks. There's about 10 of them. And they look like they could be perhaps zapped out of existence by using photon torpedoes or phasers.
Captain, with your permission, I'd like to try and destroy some of those rocks.
All right, make it so. let's get this done quickly.
Okay. One other thing you notice is that there is a stream of matter that looks to have streamed away from the meteor swarm. And it is still heading towards your ship.
Will it reach us before the meteor hits the planet?
It looks like, yeah. In fact, based on the number of successes you rolled and the information spend available, I will give you this. Those items appear to be metal. They have a fairly bright signature, and there is a large quantity of nitrates and phosphorus and carbonaceous compounds at the tips of these objects. For anyone who's playing along and doesn't recognize the chemical signature of high explosives,
Okay. Well, I'm gonna point out that there is scary explosive things coming towards us, and then say maybe we should deal with that one first.
yeah, that one, there's about 12 of them.
Are they... Did it seem like it, like, deliberately split from the meteors and started, like, seeking us out? Or does it seem like we dodged the meteor, but we're still in the path of these things?
It looks like these things altered course as you moved.
Okay. Yeah, okay, Captain. Maybe we should deal with these bombs first.
Alright, how many have we got?
12, sir.
Okay, probably can't track to beam them all out of the way then.
You have 12 incoming missiles that are moving at about 200,000 kilometers an hour.
Red alert, everyone.
Can I try and do like a bit more of an in-depth scan on them?
You can, but I'm going to suggest we jump to Commander Bullock as they start making targeting decisions before we do that. So, is the priority the asteroids that are the rock asteroids that are going to hit the moon, which basically made up the core of this moonlet, or is the priority the incoming missiles?
I think for Balak it's going to be the incoming missiles because they have a value that I will be burning for this attack.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to be using my value on this.
All right. Before we do that, with the way your phases are orientated, they do have a pretty broad range and can attack in most directions. But if you were to spin the ship around and face it towards these missiles, you would be able to bring your photon cannons, photon torpedoes into play as well.
I pass that on to the captain for the captain to decide.
Can I get some advice?
Basically,
Could we fire the phasers while we're turning?
yes, but effectively what I'm saying is Fedrolus would be able to assist Balak in lining up the shot. And they also have tactical maneuvering, I believe. Captain, are you wanting to change the alert level by any chance?
Yeah, red alert. We are very much in. Missiles are coming at us. We're in combat.
Done.
All right. So, let's keep our ship safe. Take out those missiles. Keep the crew alive. Let's go.
Okay, and given that you've just made a command to do that, that would bring in your advisor talent, I believe.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, if I'm doing an assistance, yeah.
So that gives you a free reroll of a d20.
Awesome. What am I rolling to attack?
You need one success, and it will be opposed by the missiles if they happen to have any what do we call them? Evasive countermeasures. I will say each hit from a challenge die will effectively take out one missile.
Okay, and I'll assist with a command roll. Is that
No,
is that what's happening?
This would be Fedrolus would assist with a maneuvering roll, so control con.
Okay.
The ship will add a die of weapons security, I think. Which is 10 as the threshold. Balak, it is control security, I believe, for you to fire weapons.
I am gonna spend a momentum so I can roll 3 dice, and I am burning my determination with the value protect the ship, protect the crew.
Good. Okay. So 2 automatic successes from a crit. Auto 1. And let's see what else happens. Who's going to roll for the ship?
I guess the captain should probably roll for the ship.
Okay.
Yeah, I've rolled.
No help from the ship. What was the reroll for Balak? Was that for Jorrel's?
I was rerolling. That one was for the talent. I also had my cautious security, which I was about to reroll that 19 again.
Yep. Okay.
Because I. But there we go.
Okay. So
That is 5 successes from me, including my determination, which I get to reroll.
all right. What's the? I don't see a focus that would apply here. So you'd need a 1 to get it.
Yeah, which is why I've got 5, because I rolled my determination plus the 2 and the 6, and then the 11, which is 5 for me.
Okay. Cool. All right. Okay then. So this is going to be the ship's phases roll, which is going to be 6 plus 2, I believe. So 8 in total.
Yeah. Seven, which with
7 with
5
5
effects.
Okay. I'm going to say that is sufficient, and it takes out the missiles. They splatter. However, there are still a good chunk of large chunks of rock heading into the atmosphere of the planet. The timer on you is now down to 4 minutes to impact. That's actual impact. The big rocks will take about a minute hurtling through the atmosphere of the planet because of the friction there. So effectively you have 3 shots to try and eliminate these big rocks. There's 10 of them. Nice, Balak. And so Balak got the determination point back thanks to a veteran roll. Well done.
It pays to be the most experienced member on this ship. I guess now I'm shooting at rocks.
Yeah.
Then get shooting, Commander.
With pleasure.
Same roll.
Yeah, I'm going to spend another momentum.
Yep. Okay. And again, you'll get an assist from what's his name? Fedrolis. So, Balak, is that 3 successes or 4?
Yeah. 3 for me.
Okay. Roll. So is this torpedoes? And are you firing a spread?
Yeah, we'll fire a spread of torpedoes.
Quick question. What is Fedrolis doing? Is he doing maneuvers, evasive action, or attack patterns?
He's doing tactical maneuvering. He's got a focus in tactical maneuvering.
Okay, it does. That would probably then have a. That would probably be an attack pattern. It does have a power requirement from the ship.
Okay, thank you. However, the ship does have an advanced warp drive, I believe, which...
That doesn't help in this case because we're using impulse engines.
Okay.
So we've currently then used 2 power for doing. Don't worry, I'll keep track of power.
Okay, thank you
I'm
very
also
much.
keeping track of power, don't worry.
Alright, so let us have a roll. Oh, hang on, I need to figure out what the roll is. Sorry.
Also, does someone want to roll for the ship as well?
Attack pattern would be a daring con task from Fedrolis.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
God damn it, Ben.
Was that an order you gave, Captain? Can you use the re-roll for the
That was
ship?
me rolling for the ship.
But your advisor thing lets you re-roll,
Doesn't
right? Is
re-roll
that
for the
only the
ship.
main person? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the character being assisted, and I'm not assisting the
Okay.
ship.
Sorry, just looking up torpedoes. Okay, spread. The attack inflicts additional damage elsewhere on the target. If one or more effects is rolled, the attack inflicts 1 additional hit to a random system, so in this case a random rock, which deals half the damage of the initial hit rounding up, plus 1 for every effect rolled after the first. This additional hit is resolved separately, and each hit against the target is reduced by resistance, blah blah blah. Okay, so you're using photon torpedoes. The base damage for photon torpedoes is 3, and if you roll 5 hits, sorry, salvo is effectively the what's salvo do? Characters may choose to fire a torpedo salvo instead of a single full spread. Adds 2 more to the threat. Adds 1 die to the attack's damage and grants the spread effect. Okay, gotcha. So it's 4 damage dice.
Plus the security or not?
Plus the security, yes. Although that's the ship's security, I believe.
That's 5 with 4 effects.
Okay. You could re-roll one of those by spending one of your bonus momentum from the number of hits that you made.
Sure, I'll re-roll the 3. That's another effect and another 1, so that's 6 successes with 5 effects.
Okay. That is actually sufficient. Each hit is, or each success is a hit on a asteroid, and you've done enough to pew down 11 of them. So, well done. Actually, no, it was just 10 because the first effect would be used to trigger the spread outcome. Okay, well done. So you have saved the planet from vast hypervolcanic BS occurring as a result of meteor strikes. However, there's still a whole pile of ice hurtling towards the planet. Several hundreds of thousands of tons of ice.
Which is presumably beyond our ability to destroy.
I wouldn't say that, no. You have a ship full of phasers and quantum torpedoes. You could pick out perhaps some of the larger bits that are not going to burn up in the atmosphere, and you could target those. That would be a slightly more difficult roll, though. It would be 3 difficulty for the attack roll, but there are going to be about 10 chunks of ice big enough to actually have an impact on the planet and cause significant damage. Actually, no, there's going to be 20. So, but you've got time for 2 more attacks. If you want to
Anyone
combine
recommendations?
phasers and photon torpedoes in each attack, then you can, but that will raise the difficulty to 4.
Did you say we had 2 more attempts before they hit the planet?
Yep. You've got 20 big chunks of ice that are going to be big enough to cause problems. The benefit of going phasers and torpedoes, though, is that you get more damage.
More damage sounds good, but I'd like to hear the XO's thoughts.
I say we take out some of the biggest, otherwise it can do severe damage, and then this planet might never be able to have intellectual species that could one day become part of the Federation.
Alright, open fire. All torpedoes and phasers. Let's go. Pick out the biggest targets, take them down first.
Okay, so difficulty 4, you're back up to 6 momentum. You could spend 1 or 3 momentum to get 1 or 2 extra dice, respectively.
I'd say spend 3. Yeah.
You'll get a re-roll, thanks to the captain making that a command. And I'm going to spend 2 threat to make this a 18 as a consequence of failure, creating a complication.
Awesome. Luckily, I get 2 rerolls because I have cautious security.
Okay. Again, Phaedrolus is going to have an assist for an attack pattern. So if you want to make 2 more, take 2 more power off, then that's great.
No, it's just a 1 power.
Oh, sorry, just 1. Okay.
So we're down to 7. I was counting the first attack with the
Gotcha. Thank you.
with the torpedoes.
And Captain, if you wish to roll for the ship.
I mean, after the last time, maybe I shouldn't, but I'll give it a go.
Four, and look at the results. The ship also succeeds, so that's 5.
Okay. So you're currently at 4 momentum, and we also need the roll for for the maneuvering attack pattern.
I didn't even look to see what that.
Yeah, no, I was waiting for your reaction, Scribs, because I was like, Scribs hasn't noticed yet.
No, I went to double check what the roll needed to what the roll.
Was that the maneuvering roll?
That's the maneuvering roll from Phaedrolus.
Okay. All right. That means I get to make an attack roll. Awesome. And nothing happens. There's one of those. Phaedrolus basically is trying to dart in and out of this storm of sleeting ice boulders and mountains, trying to line up shots for you. And there's one of those big ones ends up behind you, but just as it's about to hit, it spins end over end and out of your way. It does not hit. Phaedrolus is able to correct in time, and someone actually roll me another ship roll, because Phaedrolus actually gets a ship assist with weapons con for the attack pattern as well. Oh, hang on, no, never mind. Don't bother, because you can only assist with the ship if the character makes their roll successfully. Although that said, it should be 2d20 because this is a separate roll that Phaedrolus is making, not an assist.
Ah, right.
So just roll another d20.
Yeah.
Yeah, not quite enough. Still worth a try. Okay. Alright, so let's have damage rolls from Tactical Officer, who will be rolling 8 for The phases plus 4 for the torpedoes. Sorry, 6 from the torpedoes, I think. Holy shit. So, there's 11 from the phases, plus 2 effects. And
I've got 9 from the phases and 2, 4, 5 from the torpedoes. By my math.
Yes. I misread the 3 as an extra 2. So 9 and 5 is 15, 14?
Yes.
With
Yes.
3 effects, you could spend momentum to... You gained 1 momentum with the attack, so you could spend 1 momentum to re-roll dice from one of those rolls, which I would probably recommend the torpedo roll, which would give you 3 dice to re-roll.
Everybody agree with that? I'll do that then. It's another 4.
Okay, so 18 rocks are burned up and splashed. Sorry, ice chunks. There are 2 still hurtling towards the planet. So, same rolls as before.
Yep, and I'm going to spend our last 3 momentum to make sure I have the 4 dice.
Beautiful.
Okay, I'm gonna roll for Drolis first.
Yep, so 2d20 for him.
2 successes.
Yep, that's Daring Con.
Daring
Con is 15 target for him.
15.
So
It makes the all attacks made by the ship reduce in difficulty by 1.
by 1, yep. And are you just doing phases, or are you going to try the spread as well?
I say let's go with both.
Okay. Oh.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
It apparently wants me to keep the 20.
You can
And
roll that one more time, assuming the captain is able to advise. No, not there. There.
Yeah, I can advise.
Awesome, thanks. That's better. I have 2 successes.
Okay, 2 successes. Ship roll.
Two bonus successes.
Bank 1 momentum. Thanks to the attack pattern.
Thank goodness for that.
and roll 8, then 6 damage dice. Yeah, no problems. You actually managed not only to finish off the 2 big ones, but also burn through a good chunk of the smaller rocks, the smaller what are they called? Chunks of ice. The torpedoes actually vaporize a huge amount of it just ahead of the impact on the planet's surface. And yeah, well done. You have successfully averted that attack. Proximity alerts go again.
Can I do another scan?
You certainly can. This is going to be difficulty 3.
Do we have any momentum left for me to spend?
1.
1. Okay. I'll spend that then, if that's alright with you guys.
And I will spend 2
Please
more threat.
do.
I assume the
That's
ship is
3
helping
from
in
me.
these of those.
So, difficulty 3 means that you see, yes, this is another bunch of missiles.
Can I tell where they came from?
Interestingly, not really. I will give you for free that you notice that there is some cloaking technology associated with the missiles that occludes their point of origin for a short distance.
Captain, I believe these missiles may be coming from a cloaked ship.
Of course they are. Alright, let's try and find them. Keep full battle readiness, take out any missiles we have to, and let's try and find that cloaked ship.
Okay, it's another spread of 12 missiles. They seem to have originated from closer to your position before they decloaked this time. They are within range of your phasers.
I'm shooting and I'm burning my determination that I got back for, once again, protect the ship, protect the crew.
Okay.
And I assume we did not get any momentum back from
Correct.
Investor's roll.
Yeah, it was difficulty 3. Although, actually, we didn't have an assist from Science Bro. I don't think, so you can have a Science Bro assist there.
Also, wouldn't the ship be able to assist
Yeah,
on that roll?
ship would absolutely be able to assist with sensor science.
I'll quickly roll
If
that,
it
but that also
senses,
gives
does
us
that mean
our
the difficulty
advance.
goes down?
It does.
Yeah. That would have been nothing from the ship anyway.
Okay, but it is a complication because I spent the threat. So, as a number of the missiles come out of the shadow of the ice storm that's heading towards the planet, they start glinting brightly as solar panels on them start charging them up again. and they start blinking out of existence. Or cloaking.
Is there any way I can kind of extrapolate from their last known position and their, like, the way they were moving? Can I try and estimate a trajectory? I mean, other than, I know they're coming directly towards us, but like an intercept course, I guess.
Yeah. No, not really. What you could do is throw some torpedoes out in the general direction that you're expecting them to arrive from, time to explode at about the same time as they're not far from the ship. But you don't know how sophisticated the maneuvering systems on these things are.
Okay. I will
You do, however, know
relay
that they're
all of this
sophisticated
information to
enough to have cloaking tech on them.
I will relay all of this to Balak and say they're out there somewhere.
Okay, so this is... How many momentum did we decide we got back then? 2?
I believe
2,
so.
I think.
Okay, so Balak, you have 2 momentum to spend on your torpedo spread.
Awesome, I am burning one of those. And I know I've already got 2 successes because I burnt my determination.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be difficulty 4.
So glad I was able to spend momentum.
Mm-hmm. Reroll your 18.
What is it with this and always wanting me to keep the one I reroll? This is annoying.
Captain, do you want to throw
and I don't-
Advisor into the mix?
Please?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Oh, you're...
Seriously! Seriously!
Okay, 1 from the ship. And 1
It's
from Phaedrolus. Actually, 2 from Phaedrolus. Okay, Phaedrolus successfully does an attack pattern. Sounds about right. Down to 5 power. And we also have a ship assist roll for the attack itself.
Captain, would you like to roll that?
Maybe even let Avastra roll that, because she hasn't had a roll for a while.
That's true.
Or they
Oh
haven't,
no,
sorry.
that's a lot of pressure.
That's a success from the ship, so
Okay, luckily, the difficulty was 3, went down to 2. Thanks to the attack pattern. Roll your torpedo damage, which was going to be 6.
I'm gonna spend the momentum and roll 3 of those damage dice.
Yep, cool.
It's a little better. 6 damage, 4 effects.
Okay. So you splash 10 of the missiles. 2 of them make it through.
Is it the cloaked or the uncloaked ones that make it through?
Cloaked.
Do we know they're there?
Okay. So your shields take a total of 5 hits with piercing, which means piercing. The attack ignores a certain number of points of the target's total resistance for each effect roll. The resistance rating for your ship is I think it's basically your shields, isn't it? Okay, so shield strength, armor, structural integrity. So it does splash against your shields. However, your shields take 5 damage.
We are down to half of our shielding.
I'm not liking the sound of that. Let's
upside-
isolate the source and figure out what's happening.
On the upside, I don't have any threat left.
Yes.
On the
only
other
one
upside,
threat.
I'm down in engineering.
Those are both very good things.
So I can roll a regenerate shields roll.
Okay, go for it. And that gets us
Which
inside
is
the ship.
assisted by ship's structure and engineering. It's a control plus engineering task with a difficulty of 1. Because I'm in engineering, it drops the difficulty by.
Okay, cool.
Do we have any momentum?
Nope.
We have 2.
I would like to spend one of the, please, for cautious.
Yep.
Sorry, how did you get 2 momentum? I thought you were on 0 and only rolled just enough for your photon torpedo.
No, because on the... Well, we got 2 from Evastra, and then we did the photon torpedo roll, which got us a momentum, because I spent 1, which got us 2 momentum
didn't give
by
you
your
that.
math.
Oh, sorry, you got 2, but you spent the 2 on the attack with your photon torpedoes. 1 for the one to activate the reroll, and 1 to get an extra die.
I'm fairly certain we got back a momentum during that, which is when I spent it again.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Because you rolled 1 success on your roll. Target was
Plus the 2 from my determination.
Oh, plus the 2 from your determination. Okay, sorry, my apologies. Yes.
So we do have momentum.
You do have momentum, yes.
I would like to spend 1 for an extra die, please.
That looks like 4 successes.
And the ship does not succeed by giving us a complication.
Which I will bank as threat.
But this also gives us
Actually, no, I won't.
4 momentum.
So, you get 4 momentum. You get the effect of the shield regen. But,
Which is 2 points of shields.
okay. A number of EPS conduits blow out by feeding too much power through the circuits that would have been used to regenerate the shield power. That's your complication. So that's going to drop your power by two.
We're down to 1 power,
What do I-
guys.
How
No,
do we
we're
get
down to 2
power
power.
back?
Yeah, I
Can
can
we
get power back.
Okay. At this point, we are nearly up to our allotted time for the game.
Oh no, Gemma, you can't leave us here.
You say that, but in fact, I can.
Gemma,
It's a
no.
Gemma-style cliffhanger.
And I will. And don't you dare look at me like that, Kai. I see you, I know what you're doing, and it doesn't work. As the GM, I'm arbitrarily immune to intimidation rolls.
Try me.
So, thank you, folks. That was a fun session. As a recap,
Thanks, Gemma.
had some fun shenanigans with our friends in the Vulcan Kartra. Some very deliciously ambiguous responses from them. There has been a brief contact with Kai's new friend, with Balak's new friend. Our engineering science bro is doing quite well at trying to keep the ship together. The ship itself is not having such a good time. You've successfully averted an extinction level event directed at the planet below you, which does have something giving off a low level cosmic radiation effect of some sort on the planet's surface at the base of a mountain range. And you have someone firing cloaked missiles at you in volleys of 12 missiles at a time. So, let's go from backwards through the overlay. Let's announce to people who you are and where people can find you on the internet if you have things that you do on the internet. And I don't need to tell you what order it is. I'm pretty sure you know it by now. So when one person finishes talking, just move on to the next.
Hello, I'm Ash. I've been playing Lieutenant Avastra, the science officer. I don't do anything else on the internet, so you can find me here again next week.
Hi, I'm Scribs. I've been playing Lieutenant Rudza Dajid, the Chief of Engineering, and you can find me here on Twitch at BloodScribs, or you can find me on the Twitters at Scribs Gaming. Scribs_gaming.
Hi, I'm Kai. I've been playing Commander Balak, and you can find me on Twitter at LegoSonic24, on the Instagrams at DNDragonKaiba, and check out the podcast of, which is part of the, where you can find other stuff that I randomly pop up in.
And hi, hi, I'm Ben, Forgotten Memes. I've been playing Captain Joril. I am working on things, but don't have any of them really done yet. So it's just this for now.
Okay, thank you, Ben. And I am Gemma, also known as Storygirl. I stream on this channel about storytelling, writing tips and tricks, and also do a bit of gaming with some what I consider story-rich content, which isn't always as deep as you might think, but because I have been playing Doom 2016 on the stream recently. But I also am on Twitter at BlueJayGliding, and I have a Patreon at patreon.com/GemmaHooperAuthor. And that, I think, is about it for us. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We appreciate your company, and hopefully you'll catch us on the VODs if you missed it. We will be pushing this content up to YouTube fairly soon. Unfortunately, my bandwidth is limited, so it doesn't always happen immediately, but we'll get there. And so thank you all, and we'll catch you next week. Please tune in for the continuing adventures of the USS Sacagawea, the sister ship of the Hypatia, as they continue their journey into the Shackleton Expanse at 6 p.m. US Pacific time, or 10 a.m. tomorrow Australian Eastern time. And all of the UK people will probably be in bed by then. So thank you all for playing.
Yeah, it's 2 a.m. for us.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll catch you soon. Thank you.
I want to shoot stuff.